Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you all children? I hope you all are fine and doing the work regularly at home. Children, today we are going to continue the same topic, fractions. Now in our previous topic, in a previous video, we have seen what we mean by fractions and how we write the fractions, right? Today we are going to learn what we mean by equivalent fractions. Have you come across a word equivalent or something similar to that? I am sure you must have heard the word equal, right? What do you mean by the word equal? Equal means same, which is having same value or same quantity, equal amount we say, right, or equal in number, which are same, we call them equal. Now equivalent also means the same. Equivalent means equal, something which has same value or which shows the same quantity. Okay. Now today we are going to know what we mean by equivalent fractions. What we mean by equivalent fractions or what do they represent. Okay. For that I have few figures on the board. You can see in the first figure I have made two equal parts. Equal parts, this is very important. In our previous video we have discussed if the parts are not made equal, then we cannot take them for fractions. If we have to consider them as a part of a fraction or if we have to write them as fraction, then the parts made in a whole should be equal. Okay, equal parts have to be made. So in the first figure you can see I have made two equal parts. In the second figure I have made 4 equal parts. Okay, and in the third figure I have made 8 equal parts. Okay, equal parts is very important. Okay, now if I have to write the fraction for the shaded part in these three figures, for the first figure the fraction will be 1 out of 2, where 1 is the numerator, 2 is the denominator. So 2 tells us how many parts are made, okay, and 1 tells us how many parts we have selected. The numerator tells us how many parts we have selected. In the second figure, the fraction for the shaded part will be 2 out of 4. 4 parts are made. Out of 4 parts, 2 parts are shaded. For the third figure, the fraction that we will write for the shaded part will be 4 out of 8. Now, when you look at these fractions 1 by 2, 2 by 4 or 4 by 8, what do we feel? Do we feel they are equal? When we look at the numbers, we might feel that these fractions are not equal. But when you compare the shaded parts in these three figures, what do you understand? The amount or the quantity of shaded part in the first figure or the second figure or the third figure, it is same. Equal amount of the part has been shaded in all the three figures, right? Here also it is half of the figure that is shaded. In this also half of the figure has been shaded, and third one also half of the figure has been shaded. The quantity that they represent or they are showing, these fractions, what quantity or what amount they are showing is same or equal. But the way we have written this fraction, it is different because number of parts made are different. The total number of parts made are different in all the three figures. So the fractions that we wrote are different, right? They are all three different fractions, but they will show or they represent the same amount or the same quantity. These type of fractions are called equivalent fractions. So I can say that 1 by 2 is equal to 2 by 4 and it is equal to 4 by 8. We might write them in a different way, but they all will show the same amount of the quantity. Okay. So for a fraction we can have many equivalent fractions. If I make one more figure with more number of parts and if I shade half of that figure, again I can get one more fraction. So number of equivalent fractions for a particular fraction can be any number, like it can go on. Okay, there can be many equivalent fractions for a particular fraction. Now without the figure, how we can find or how the equivalent fractions for a given fraction we will see. Okay. Now, if we multiply the numerator and the denominator with the same number, we will get another fraction which will be equal to the previous one. For example, say I have 2 by 3. If I have to find equivalent fraction for 2 by 3, I have to multiply numerator and the denominator with the same number. Okay. Say for example, I will multiply the numerator with 2 and denominator also with 2, I will get another fraction, okay, and that fraction will be 4 by 6. I can say that 2 by 3 is equivalent to 4 by 6. The way I have written is different, but both the fraction 2 by 3 and 4 by 6 will represent the same amount or the quantity. Okay. I can get more equivalent fractions for 2 by 3. Now, I can multiply 2 by 3 with 3, numerator and denominator with 3. I will get another fraction which will be 6 by 9. So, 6 by 9 is equivalent to 2 by 3. I can also multiply 2 by 3 with 4, numerator and denominator I will multiply by 4, and the new fraction that I will get will be 8 by 12. Now, 8 by 12 is an equivalent fraction of 2 by 3. I can go on, I can get one more fraction which will be equivalent to 2 by 3. I can multiply it with 5 and I will get 10 by 15. All these fractions 4 by 6, 6 by 9, 8 by 12 or 10 by 15 are equivalent fractions of 2 by 3. Okay, they are all equal to each other. We can say that 2 by 3 is equal to 4 by 6, is equal to 6 by 9, is equal to 8 by 12, is equal to 10 by 15. That's all? No, we can get more equivalent fraction. As we go on multiplying the fraction with the same numerator and the denominator, then we will get another fraction. Okay. So, a fraction can have many equivalent fractions. We can keep multiplying numerator and denominator with the same number and we can keep getting the equivalent fractions. Okay. So, we will see one more example. I have 4 by 5 here and we are going to find 3 equivalent fractions for 4 by 5. Okay. So, first we will multiply 4 by 5 with 2. Numerator and denominator multiplied with the same number. So, 4 2s are 8 and 5 2s are 10. Now, we have to find 3 equivalent fractions for this, right? We have got 1. So, we will find the second equivalent fraction, multiply 4 by 5 with 3. We can take any number, it is not necessary we have to go in a sequence like 2, 3, 4. We can multiply numerator and denominator with any number, you will get a equivalent fraction for it. So, 4 into 3 is 12, 5 into 3 is 15. So, this is the second equivalent fraction that we have got. We will find one more fraction 4 by 5. This time let me take it to be 6. I will multiply numerator and denominator with 6. We can take any number, right. So, 6 I will multiply with 4. 4 into 6 is 24 and 5 into 6 is 30. So, 24 by 30 is also an equivalent fraction of 4 by 5. So, I have got 3 equivalent fractions for 4 by 5. I can write it as 4 by 5 is equal to 8 by 10 is equal to 12 by 15 is equal to 24 by 30. Okay, this is how we find equivalent fractions for a given fraction. Okay, I hope you have understood what we mean by equivalent fraction. The fractions that represent the same amount or the quantity are called equivalent fractions. The way we write might be different, but they will represent or show you the equal amount or the same quantity. We can get equivalent fractions for a given number by multiplying numerator and denominator with the same number. Okay, and one fraction can have many equivalent fractions. As we go on multiplying, the fraction will keep getting equivalent fractions for that fraction. Okay, children, keep practicing, and very important, you should know the multiplication tables. Without tables, without knowing multiplication tables, we cannot do the calculations. So, please keep revising multiplication tables every day. Okay. Inshallah, we will meet very soon with the next topic. Till then, stay at home and be safe. Jazakumullahu khaira. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Subhanallah walhamdulillah.